In the shadow of decay I rise, typhus the herald beneath poison skies. With nerves rot I lay walls to waste, the reaper's scythe no life can escape. Beneath the flies, beneath the filth I spread the plague with the twisted will. From festering wounds, corruption grows in the heart of death god where despair flows. I am the harbinger, the bringer of disease. In Nurgle's name I spread death with ease. Pestilence walks with me hand in hand, rivers of filth drown the land. I am typhus, master of decay. In the name of ruin I claim the day. Light crumbles to dust. Wherever I tread, rot consumes the just. Space hulks reek of a foul rebirth, carriers of plague across the cursed earth. Beneath the flies, beneath the filth I spread the plague with a twisted will. From festering wounds, corruption grows in the heart of death god where despair flows. I am the harbinger, the bringer of disease. In Nurgle's name I spread death with ease. Pestilence walks with me hand in hand, rivers of filth drown the land. I am typhus, master of decay. In the name of ruin I claim the day. The Imperium's light crumbles to dust. Wherever I tread, rot consumes the just. Space hulks reek of a foul rebirth, carriers of plague across the cursed earth. Beneath the flies, beneath the filth I spread the plague with a twisted will. From festering wounds, corruption grows in the heart of death god where despair flows. I am the harbinger, the bringer of disease. In Nurgle's name I spread death with ease. Pestilence walks with me hand in hand, rivers of filth drown the land. I am typhus, master of decay. In the name of ruin I claim the day. Nameless howl, the guiding walls, pestilent tides, new life is born. Nurgle's passing, a twisted grace. I embrace your heart in my cold embrace. Fear the plague fleet, fear the end. No salvation, no let to defend. I am typhus, reaper of dread. Bow to Nurgle, embrace the dead.
Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Disgusting Resilient Podcast Live. I'm Aiden, of course. I'm here to do you today. Jesus Christ, that came across wrong. I'm obviously we're here today to go through a recent little event that happened, which is the World Championships of Warhammer. So these are an invitation only event where basically you can only attend if you have had a golden ticket. Golden tickets can be achieved by winning anything that's like major level or above. And yeah, so you can imagine it's probably the hardest tournament in the planet, because only people who are event winners have been able to attend this tournament. And we're going to basically look at how Death Guard has done today. Now, I should not be alone for too long. Will is currently, let me check the message, shoving some food down my gullet. Will be 5 minutes. So, so we can expect Will to join us very shortly. But yeah, today we're going to be looking at Death Guard, how we're doing, maybe a bit more talk about Will. Dave, I don't know if he can make tonight. I'm not too sure yet. But he's obviously got his upcoming Leicester Super Major very soon, so he's going to talk a little bit about that. And then we may speculate a little bit. I'm not sure if we save that for an entire stream. I have challenged the guys to make a brand new detachment, sort of in the excitement of the whole December thing with every army. So anyone who doesn't know, GW themselves have announced that every single army in the game is getting a new detachment in December. One detachment a day. And obviously, as we are an army in the game, we will therefore be getting a new detachment, which is cool. It should be something for us to play around with and have some fun with. So we're going to have a bit of fun before that and basically, try and give our ideas what would be a cool detachment there, which could be quite fun. So very quickly, let's check up in with the chat. How is everyone doing? So we've got Derps, Strong Boy there in the chat as well, making clarifies to make all the haters -1 to hit. We've got Tobias, Medarius, and Light coming in with the Plague Marine tier memberships. Thank you so much, guys, for becoming members. If you just become a member, or you want to become a member, or you're considering it, once you have. It costs £3 a month, so it's like a coffee. But all you have to do is pay once, and you get access to our Discord. To get access to the Discord, once you become a member, go to our YouTube channel homepage, go to the community tab, scroll down a few posts, and you'll see a link. Click that, and you'll be in the Discord. You can join in all the good stuff there. But thank you so much for the continued support. And do remember, guys, if you do like the content, please leave a like and subscribe. I know I sound like an absolute broken record at this point, but it is important to YouTube, because YouTube is an evil, angry corporation with an agenda of trying to basically get you to follow the algorithm. So it helps massively. But everyone else in chat, Cass Kelly Burke, Kravis, Prometheus Williams, Nurgle Matthew, Ben Hayden, Orixos, yeah, Eric Thompson, Derp, Zito, TechCraft Studios, Duralex, hello to everyone. Hope you are all doing well. How did you allow Stones to win WCW? Well, you see, I wasn't there. I wasn't there to curb stomp the Custodes into the ground. Unfortunately, I'm sure I'd have curb stomped Fulgrim. I'm 100% sure. Yeah, easy, mate. Easiest game of my life. Unlikely, but it's actually a good point there, because I did watch that final. What a disgusting amount of 4-ups, and that is why I goddamn hate Custodes. But again, not taking it away from him. Obviously, he didn't have that look for all these other games. He knew the one way he wins was basically banking on getting the good 4-ups, and he did it. And sometimes that's the way it goes. It is Warhammer after all, so congrats to Folger there for that win, and obviously congratulations to everyone that attended this event. Whether you went 8-0 or you went like 0-8, it doesn't matter. The fact you're even here at Warhammer World Championships is obviously a sign of how good you are as a player. But now, can we please nerf Feel No Pain, because I am so goddamn sick of it. So Bolton has a golden ticket. Let's go to Atlanta. Okay, Zito. Okay, that's not the plan. We're gonna go. We'll win Bolton. Yeah, let's go win Bolton. We'll go to Atlanta. Easy. We'll just take it. Bully those golden boys. Oh, I wish Gokubar. Aiden, if GW gave you the final say on attachments for us, anything goes. What would it be? Oh, Jesus Christ, mate. That could be an entire stream on its own. I could go absolutely off on that one. I could do all sorts of stuff. You obviously like a Plague Wing detachment. You can go, obviously you got Terminus Est. I want Terminus Est to be really cool. I don't want it to just be like zombies. I want it to be like, I said on the Art of War Down Under podcast that I was invited on to talk about Death Guard. He asked me to come up with a detachment, like enhancement and stuff, and it was a Poxwalker detachment, but it was an enhancement that basically you put it on a character. It allowed the character to join a unit of Poxwalkers, and it gave any unit that he's in +2 move, which is quite nice. But also, if a Poxwalker unit finishes a move closer to him than it started it, they can move an extra 2 inches. So it's ideally like a shepherding along the cultists, so they're all following him along. For anyone that's in the lore, which is really cool. Ah, here's Will. Excellent. Give me 2 seconds, guys, to set up Will. I will give him a quick call. Oh God, he's blowing my ears out. Hello?
Alright, mate, getting on?
Yeah, not too bad. We are currently live, mate, so I'll get you set up in a second. I've just been obviously chatting to the stream a little bit. So how are you doing, mate?
Not bad yourself?
I'm not too bad, not too bad. Don't worry, I let everyone know that you were eating currently, so...
Yeah, so I'm literally eating the last mouthful of food there.
It's not a problem at all, mate. Right, let me very quickly just do something here to get you on the actual screen so everyone can see. How are you feeling at the moment, mate?
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. Obviously got Leicester coming up this weekend. Me and Dave are going to test out the list that we talked about last week. I haven't had any practice games with it yet, so I don't know.
That's the best kind. Just go in the deep end. That's the best way to do it.
Yeah, that's it. Just going in blind seems to be the way it's going to go. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be quite good. I mean, like you say, I think the 20 Poxwalkers that you've that we added, under your sort of suggestion. That's a bit that I'm not familiar with, but the more I sort of think about it, the more that makes sense. And I've seen sort of like some other lists with similar sort of tech that seem to have done quite well. So yeah, I'm quite excited for it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited currently in general. Obviously, new detachment on the horizon. Will is having an RTT on. Is it the 28th of December?
Yeah, 28th of December. So it's like it's a nice one, you know. It's the Saturday before between Christmas and New Year, so it's a weird time, isn't it? You know, it's not a weekend. Well, it is a weekend, sorry, but it's not New Year's Eve, and it's you know, sort of falls in between, so people generally don't know what to do with themselves. So we thought, well, a little RTT, and yeah, like you say, it could be really nice for the new detachment, assuming the new detachments are serious and they're not sort of like, you know,
I'll bring it
silly.
regardless. I'll bring it regardless to have a laugh with it.
I mean, if it's something like wear a Santa's hat and said unit gets reroll ones, you can bring it, but we might not let you use it.
No, I'm pretty
But,
sure they've confirmed they are supposed to be like proper detachments, not like AOS launch, where it's like, if you have a bigger beard than your opponent and you yell, "I'm a dwarf," you get 4+4 dice to wound roll. It's such a weird rule set at first, that game.
yeah, if there's anything like that, then. But yeah, from what I've seen as well, it seems like they're going to be sort of serious detachments. I mean, I suspect some are going to be wildly better than others. GW being GW, so I've just realised I've got a wire.
Oh, I thought that was just. I thought you were just charging yourself up, you know, like you're an android or something like that.
No, just oh, there we go. So I don't know. I moved away from the mouthpiece there, so you can even hear me or not. But,
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like you say, I'm sure some are going to be wildly better than others. You know, but we'll have to see, won't we? I mean, if there's a wild imbalance and it's sort of generally agreed across tournaments that people aren't adapting them, then maybe we won't. But with it being a Christmas one, we might also adapt it, because the whole point of it is, although it's going to be serious games, we are trying to sort of make it a little bit more fun.
Yeah.
We've got some prize that we're thinking about, you know, like a competition for the silliest. So instead of voting for best painted, we might vote for silliest or most impressive Christmas jumper, and the people want to put themselves forward can stand in like an ID parade line, and then people will put names in a hat, and then we'll announce a winner. We thought it might be quite funny. We also thought if anyone plays all 3 games wearing a Santa hat, we'll put their name into a raffle, and they can win a prize. Just stuff like that, really. In addition to the actual prizes for second and third that you'd normally have.
Yeah. For sure.
So I take it then, because obviously I'm a bit late, that you've introduced the stream and that we're going to be talking about some of the lists and worlds.
Yeah, so I've taught us, basically we're going to be looking at the best Death Guard performing lists at Worlds. We covered over quickly but the fact it being, you know, won by Custodes, which was a bit left field. Don't think anyone's kind of saw that coming. Kind of does raise the issue, though, that the Custodes effect is very much a real thing. Because I don't know if you watched the final, Will, that those 4-ups were on fucking fire.
Oh, I didn't, but I saw the breakdown to some other tunnels. It sounds like he got very lucky on his run to the top. It sounds like there was one game where the only way he could win on his last turn was he had to literally draw 2 cards out of whatever he had left in his deck, and he drew those exact 2 cards.
That's Warhammer, though, baby.
Yeah, that's it. You know, it's a game of luck and chance is a reality.
Yeah.
So fair play to the guy. You know, I mean, the fact that everyone there is obviously a top player as well, isn't it? So even though we're sort of saying like Custodes are a surprise pick, I'm sure the pilot was an exceptional.
Oh, for sure, 100%.
Player.
You don't get there just by pure luck alone. Otherwise you are the jammiest fucker in the planet, which is, you know, unlikely. TechCraft Studios, super excited that I'm playing a 2K practice match in a few hours. Going to try out your favoured 3 Predators. Was also a challenge to make a Death Guard Demon Prince work. Well, mate, I hope you have fun in your practice game. Let us know how the Death Guard Demon Prince works, because we have actually discussed it a little bit with the amount of Terminators people are bringing. Like, is it actually become, especially if everyone's bringing a lot of damage 3, like the second you pass a single 6 up, that actually can totally save another guy's life, which is kind of important. So you let us know how that goes, mate. But best of luck there. So, well, one thing we'll do before we get into this is, I think one of the most interesting things we're going to see from this, let me just move you over it a second, Will, because I need to have you over here, and then the stream over here. There we go. The Death Guard lists. Okay, so we have, so we actually had a Death Guard player coming 15th. That is the highest Death Guard player, Ranchenley, who is just actually playing the UK. He's obviously representing his country, China, but he does actually play in the UK because I've seen him at the UK TC round, which is quite nice. Now,
Nice.
He only got one loss and he got one draw. So that is still, really impressive. So is it 8 rounds, this thing? I think it was 8, yeah. So 6-1-1 result is obviously incredible. And one thing you're going to notice when we look at the list is it's probably not what a lot of people are expecting. And I think it confirms the feeling that I've already been having after playing the Deathshroud spam list. So do you want to start there, or do you want to start a little more down and like work our way up?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like before we jump into the Death Guard list, I feel like it might be a good idea just to run down what the top 10 was for the people who don't know that. Just to take a general, because it gives a snapshot of the meta. I mean, admittedly, no doubt some of the stuff, the custodes there, it might not be a fair representation of the faction because it's probably like an exceptional player, doing a flex. But let's just run down the top 10 just so people can see who finished where and if there's any sort of trends before we break into Death Guard stuff.
Well, I think one trend we can already kind of guess and we assumed and we knew it was going to happen is the amount of Astra Militarum that are up here. Guard are crazily good right now. And we got in second place, we've got Guard. Third place, we've got Guard. Sixth place, Guard. Ninth place, Guard. So in the top 10, that's 4 Guard players. So we can already see there, like, Guard is in an incredibly strong point right now. And to me, Will, I think the main thing is I genuinely think of Guard. Do they actually have a bad matchup?
Ooh. God, that's a really good question. It actually came up on another podcast. I was listening to the Fireside one, and Vic did ask David Gaylord this, and I'm sure there was one faction that he said was a bit dicey, but I can't remember which one it was now. And again, even then, I think Vic was then sort of quick to correct David and say, like, it might not be bad, but is it awful? And he was like, well, no, it's more like a 50-50. I can't remember what it was now off the top of my head, though. And obviously I'm anecdoting other content creators, but the fact that there's only one that you could think of, and then it was corrected by the other horses being, well, it's more like a 50-50, that in itself says a lot, doesn't it? And those are 2 top players. I really wish I could think of what the other faction was now.
Was it Tyranids?
Oh, it might have been Tyranids. I'm not sure.
Because they can do the Shadow and the Warp and then kill any unit that gets synapse, so they can't bring it back. Oh, GSC maybe, as David Irvin said in the chat.
Was GSC.
Was it? Yeah,
it was GSC. Yeah, it was GSC. Oh, someone in the chat.
Yeah, David Irvin.
Cheers, Dave.
Yeah, okay, I can see that. GSC is also incredibly strong right now. But I mean, when it comes to Astra Militarum, there's a couple. I think there's more than just one unit that's making them good right now, David. Obviously, the Aquilons are very good at the moment. 3-inch Deep Strike, we've obviously talked about a million. We hate it in Necrons. We hate it in basically anything. It just kind of like you have the core fundamentals of the game, and you just go, no, screw it. And I don't know if you've played against like 3 squads of them, Will, but I've just gotten to the point where when it comes to 3-inch Deep Strike, and I've almost given up trying to screen it because it's just impossible. You get to a certain point where you put yourself in such bad positions because you're trying to screen out a 3-inch Deep Strike, and it ends up pretty much happening anyway, that it's a nightmare to deal with, and I really don't like the fact that also the weird that they get to shoot when they come in, so they can come in 3 inches, shoot the heavy flamer turret, which is like D6 plus 3 shots for some reason, not just a normal flamer, kill a couple guys, and the second squad can come even closer in the gap they've made, and then flame another guys off, and they got like silence in as well. It's pretty gross. But there is.
I haven't played against it, but I mean, trying to screen out 3-inch Deep Strike is a nightmare. Like what I've generally found is with a lot of the lists have been running with Taliman and then maybe 3 Nurglings if they're not needed to scout forward. With them, you can kind of generally screen people coming in. And like from line of sight, you can screen the Taliman who stands on the objective and then put a 6 or a 7-inch, depending on how big the base are, gap between them, and then to the board edge, maybe, or that of the Taliman and some cultists, but then you can't screen the other side. And if it's a combat unit, they're going to drop down. If they live through your turn, then they're just going to charge the Taliman, then they're on your home field, and then, like you say, it's a bit of a disaster. So, 3-inch Deep Strike's a nightmare for us.
I mean, between that, they also have orders, which are incredibly, like, if you know what you're doing with orders, it's incredibly powerful. The fact you can, like, make guardsmen 3 OC each, or 4 potentially, like, 2 guardsmen a point is like 8 OC if you want it to be, which is nuts. You can make everything move faster, you can make everything hit better. the options you've got, and also just +1 save as well for take cover. There's so much like
Bulgan is still a thing.
Yep.
This is the thing. Like Bulgan haven't gone anywhere. They're just not as optimal because the points went up, but you're still seeing like 1 or 2 units in most top lists, it seems, and they're still a problem to deal with.
Yeah, you got Scions, which is like managed to deal way too much damage for what they should be. Lethal, sustained, like 11 plasma gun shots from the squad. Can order once they come in, so they're hitting on like 3s into 2s or whatever it is. It's a bit nutty. So I mean, I do expect Astra Militarum to get a slap down because they are a little bit daft. Plus, on top of that, I don't know if you've seen like guard list. You just read it and it just keeps going on and on and on. You're like, okay, triple tank commanders. Okay, 60 guardsmen, 6 chimeras, and a dawn, and a basilisk. It's just like
it's insane. I mean, one thing that's worth commenting on guard list, because there's a guard player on our team, I guess, who goes to our club, and he points out that the top guard lists don't play like the mid-table, like the mid-table 3-2 player guard lists. They generally only have 1 or 2 tanks, the top ones, and the whole game plan is just about denying you primary and controlling the board. Like, if you look at like David Gaillard's list, and I've seen a couple of them on stream at the end, he's nearly tabled, but his opponent scored like no points. It's all about move blocking. The tanks seem to end up charging onto objectives and just ramming into things, and it's all just about like playing the game at its not at its basics. 'Cause obviously they're doing quite clever things with it, but like it's not like you'd think about a guard system. I think a lot of people who don't play against them assume, oh, it's going to be loads of tanks and just going to blow me off the board, and it's just going to be like a straight up firefight.
Yeah.
It's not. It's about them holding you here, putting OC there, making sure that the 1 or 2 tanks you have got one firing lane locked down, so you can't kind of put anything in there.
Yeah.
Like it's all about like that kind of play. So I think a lot of that's kind of overlooked sometimes by other people, and like when a guard player who's piloted by army is piloted by like a top player who's like playing 3D chess already to your 2D chess, and then they've got all the pieces like you said, that huge long list to sort of like just do this and stand here and get that card and deny all the primary. It's it's a really hard game to play into, and admittedly I've never played a guard player who's been that good. I've always played kind of more the mid-table, loads of tanks. I'm just going to have a firefight with your game, which is a lot more manageable. But
it's still intimidating and hard though.
It's definitely still not easy. Like, and that's the things when you think about what those top players are doing.
Yeah,
I wouldn't even know where to start.
I mean, so very quickly, Brian Shaw, thank you very much for the $10 super chat. No, you guys don't have Thanksgiving there in England, but here in the US it is on Thursday. Just want to say very thankful for you guys. Always so much to look forward to. Thank you very much, Brian. And here's a sip for you because I know you like the sips. There you go. So I've just pulled up the top guard list as well, and you are actually correct. There was only 1 tank commander. The rest of it is a lot of troops, chimeras, hellhounds, triple hydra, which is kind of mad. Actually, he did have quite a few tanks, but he eschewed the tank commanders. I'm guessing it's because cheaper tanks means more chaff to just throw around everywhere, which is pretty nice. And then obviously we've got like the 1 Aquilans, 2 Aquilans, and a science brick. So yeah, it's a grim prospect to face, but we already know Guard are probably going to be getting a tap. Hopefully, I mean they get a new book anyway, so maybe they don't bother nerfing them because the books is apparently a rewrite from like ground up. So I don't know. We'll see.
Oh, that's good. I mean, I imagine, I do think the Guard, when they get the book, I imagine them being strong. Because it's just like one of those armies, whenever they get the Codex, are nearly always strong. Just because, like you said...
I know, it's going to be Eldar and Guard. It's going to be like, oh, this is going to suck for a bit.
Yeah. There's just a couple of factions that, like, have problem books traditionally, isn't it? And Guard have actually been one of them traditionally.
Yeah.
So curious to see what happens with Guard. But, yeah. So what else have we got then? Let's run down to that Death Guard list, and then we can start to break that down and see what Spicy was running.
Yeah. So I think a lot of people were probably expecting Deathshroud spam. There was no doubt there was Deathshroud spam. I, after playing it, genuinely think that Deathshroud spam is a great like GT list. I think you don't win super majors or anything like that with it, because the good players just know how to play around it. So this list that did well, by Ranch and Lee, is named DG 3 Dogs, 3 Predators, 6 Deathshrouds, 10 PMs. So It's quite on the nose of what it is on its name, but it is, as you expect, it's actually a more traditional Death Guard list. So you've got a Biologist Putrefier. Now, he does actually give up on the Foul Blightspawn. There is no Foul Blightspawn, just a Biologist Putrefier in here. So he's saving himself those 60 points. He's then got a Death Guard Sorcerer in Terminator armor, Mortarion, and Typhus, so the character bros are here. Let me just quick read those pings. I can't read the pings. We've got 10 Plague Marines, usual sort of loadout, mixture of like guns and heavy plague weapons, you know, the kind of deal. With a Rhino for them. Then we've got 1 unit of Cultists. Then we have triple Predator Destructor with the las cannons of Predator auto cannons, as you'd expect. We've got 2 3-man squads of Deathshroud Terminator, so not even a 6-man. 2 3-mans. 1 Fetid Bloat Drone, and then still back to the old triple War Dog Brigand. So a very, very shooty heavy list. So you got triple Predator, triple Brigand. Kirby's back at something, I apologise. Backed up by, you got Morty there. It's a very normal list. Like, this is not like a crazy out there list. It's very much like, here's a brick of Plague Marines, here's 2 squads of Terminators that are going to go around and do things. Got a squad of Cultists, I've got a Bloat Drone, and I've got triple Brigand, triple Predator to put the pain down range, really. And, I mean, it's clearly working.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's necessarily a traditional list, but I know what you mean. It's an archetype that we've seen before, though. It's like, it's not an archetype that we haven't seen before, the Death Guard gun line. I mean, it seems to lack a lot of scoring units. But
I was thinking that. Because, I mean, you got sort of Cultists, but they're probably going to hold home. There's no Nurglings at all, and there's only a single Bloat Drone. So I do actually wonder how this plays out, because, I mean, when I made this sort of list, obviously Mortime was a Rotagus back in the day. I didn't have the Predators to go alongside the Brigands, and I had, like, another unit of, like, Cultists, I had, like, another Bloat Drone, like, all those extra things to, like, just score stuff. This one, either is just eschewing that sort of scoring to just, like, absolute go nuts on the damage. I mean, it does have 3-man Deathshroud, so maybe, like, they could technically be coming in and just doing an action for 190 points. But it's a bit of a weird one.
I mean, in my head, I can in my head. So I don't know. Maybe we should try and get an interview with this guy. Maybe we should try and get him on to talk about it, because it is a bit. So in my head, I imagine that the Predators, I imagine backline. Then you anchor the safe objective with the 10-man Plague Marines, or if there isn't one there, they just sort of park the Rhino and just project threat. The Cultists probably just go and either screen something or hold home field. Then I imagine actually the Brigands push forward. I imagine the Brigands push forward, do loads of damage, like, you know, try and, for example, you can't win if you're dead kind of thing, you know, just clear everything out the way, and then they go and hold primary for a term, bait some stuff out to go and deal with the Brigands, either into shooting lanes or to charge them. Then if it's charging, you presumably set up the Deathshroud to do counter charges. And then if it's firing lanes, you've got the Predators to roll out and return fire. And then after you've kind of done that, you assume that maybe it's to clear the Brigands, they've lost a lot of their army. And then maybe the Predators start to push forward and hold primary. And then the Deathshroud then start to sort of push into them. But the Plague Marines either at that point hold to me, or the Plague Marines kind of maybe even sit until late game. I don't know. I mean, that's how I would imagine it plays in my head, but I don't know. It's certainly a very risky game plan, though, because that game plan into some armies just collapses in a heap if they've got the units just to kill the Brigands and stand there and go, I don't care about 3 Deathshroud, I'll kill them as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a very, I don't know. I'd love to know what he played into.
So that's what I'm doing now. So I've just pulled up. So first round we beat Space Marines by 3 points. The Space Marine were rocking the usual Ultramarines Vanguard list. Centurion Devastators, couple Lancers, things like that. So I can see how I beat that one. I can understand that. That makes sort of sense. The lack of the fight first in the 10-man Plague Marine squad is because it means you can't really use that unit as an anchor, because if it gets charged, it dies. Like, there's just T5 Marines, so it must be using it more aggressively. But let's have a look at. I'll keep going through his pairings.
Deathshroud would make more sense, wouldn't they, in that sort of build? Like, to have like the big brick, but then I suppose maybe he just wants the speed.
So he drew.
It is a very.
He drew against Sisters, Hallowed Martyrs, So it's what is it? Double Rhino, double Castigator, double Exorcist, Paragon suit. So kind of standard, but not Brings of Flame, which is quite interesting. Hallowed Martyrs, but again, nothing too crazy there. So I can see him. That draw makes sense there. His loss, I've already checked, was to Chaos Space Marines, which I'll pull up in a second. Which I actually can see because Legionnaires actually can slap Plague Marines because obviously if you're on an objective, they get reroll wounds and stuff like that, and you don't have the fights first. Because normally that would be what protects you from Legionnaires. You fight first, and you easily kill 5 Legionnaires on the swing back. So he beat Tyranids, who are rocking an invasion fleet with 3 squads of like high OC crap, Homogaunt Gargoyles. Triple Exocrine, 2 units of Gene Stealers, 2 Maliceps Pirate. No, okay, that makes sense. No T-Fexes. So the Brigands are just gonna go as soon as the Exocrines are dead. The rest of this list kind of just falls apart. Especially with the things as well. Although again, without the fight first, like these Gene Stealers are actually really scary to the Plague Marines.
Yeah.
So it's quite interesting to think. I'd love to have seen him play it. Because he must be doing something right. Because even if you keep them in the Rhino, like 10 Gene Stealers can wrap that Rhino pretty goddamn easily, and then you got an entire like 200 like 40-point unit stuck in a Rhino, can't do anything. He beat Necrons, who were rocking a Hypercrypt force with 3 Catans. Now there's 6 Catans. And that's it, pretty much. 5 Immortals, 5 Deathmarks. Now that one I can obviously see him winning. The Brigands, Melter's obviously just going to go through the half damage. Morty's still there. And
yeah, I think Morty swings that one, doesn't it?
Yeah, and because he's got no Doomsday Axe or anything like that, Morty is not going to go down to any shooting. So Morty's just going to live pretty much where he needs to. So that one totally can see how he absolutely like curbed that one to the ground. Makes sense. Round 5. Let's have a look. Come on, load. Sorry, it can take a while sometimes. There you go. Necrons again. Rob Gonzalez won by a single point. This one was a lot closer. Hypercrypt. 1, 2, 3 Catan. 3 Catan. 3 Doomsday Axe. No Monolith. No Silent King. No Tessie Vault. So I'm just going to assume that he trade. I mean, obviously I can see why this was closer. This is a lot scarier, the Triple Doomsday Arc. But again, I can see how you can win this because you got the Triple Predators and the Triple Brigands to fire back into Doomsday Arcs. So if you just make the Doomsday Arcs have to do something about stuff on objectives early because the Catans are too slow to get there instantly, I can see how you can pick up like a Doomsday Arc where you're shooting quite decently.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have much screen. Oh, he's got 2 flayed ones, so actually maybe deep striking wouldn't be as effective into it. But I can see that one was more of a 1-point loss rather than the previous one, which he absolutely blew out. Round 6, this was the loss, I believe. Let's have a quick look at this one. Very quick, let's load in chat. Went 2-1 at Glasshammer RTT on the weekend. Thanks for the help and advice you guys offer. It made a world difference. You're very welcome, all on you, and thank you very much for coming to Plague Me, mate. Massively appreciate the support. Gabriel Boyer, I'm a Death Guard player since 3rd edition when they were just part of CSM, but after seeing the new Krieg stuff, I can't help but jumping on the Krieg. Hail, mate, if you enjoy it, you go enjoy yourself, man. Nids is very scary against Deathshroud Terminator. It's so much damage free. That is very true. There's a lot of damage free for those guys. Now, we've got a 4-point loss here to Jakub, who was rocking Emperor's Children Veterans Long War. I think it's very close to the I think it's very close to that VSL list. Triple Predators. Yeah, it is. It pretty much is. So I can see this one actually being a loss. You've got the massive 10-man Chosen Brick here, which can punch quite a lot of stuff. He's got Triple Predator Destructor, which easily outshoot our Predator Destructors because they have the lethals and the sustains when they want them, which is really nice. He's got lots of OC to contest as well. 2 squads of Obliterators are quite nasty. I can see
in that detachment they are, yeah. Because you get the outline of sight. So I mean, he's not doing fight first Plague Wings, but if he does, the 2 Obliterators just you make them your off target, don't you? And they're just gone.
Yeah, true. Only a 4-point loss though, so still managed to keep it quite close. This is quite interesting. I really want to see how this played. Now, I mean, like,
he also wanted to sort of caveat before. I do feel like this list. Because I'm thinking about this list because you've played there as well in the Clumps York Terrain, which locally to where me and Aidan live. They kind of use a hybrid version of GW. They don't. arguably have enough on the on the bases. That's kind of like their own flavour. But the GW's lists that work on GW terrain don't necessarily translate very well to like UKTC or Glasshammer, for example. So
True.
I'm wondering if one of the reasons this list is good is because maybe there's like space just run over the bases with stuff, like run over the terrain base. I mean, so maybe like the brigands and things can stage and then get really easy angles just by sort of like running onto the terrain pieces and just making the terrain disappear in effect. So I don't know if that's, you know, the terrain format is one of the reasons why this list worked, because on UKTC, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not a bad list, but it strikes me as a list that would struggle to go more than 3-2. But maybe it's a terrain format that kind of helped it a bit.
Because I mean, I mean, obviously we can't say about the list. The list is obviously doing what it needs to do for him. But I am somewhat shockingly concerned about how well it did. Not because I think the list's bad. It's just with the like again, it's your initial point of like the scoring. Like, are we just sacrificing? Like you said, are we playing brigands aggressive? Are we playing predators? Like, what do we? Something has to go out. And normally we'd use like cultist drones or like poxwalkers. Like here, like there's one drone. So I don't know if he's just being turbo aggressive. Maybe like full sending the rhino so people have to react to it. And then obviously reacting with his shooting and just starting the brawl that way. But I mean, or maybe the Mortarian is just a giant bait.
I mean, yeah, God Mortarian, yeah.
It could be quite possible. But I mean, you know, it clearly is working. So, you know, well done to Rancham for that one. But I you know, I am a little, I do genuinely think that a more generic, like, mixture of, like, arms, a bit of OC, a bit of Terminators is probably, like, a stronger list than 18 Deathshroud spam. I think it's harder to play, and I think there's a lot more things you can mess up with it. But the one thing I have been wondering and worried about is, if you go back to that list, are the War Dogs, like, necessary in that kind of list? Because they do a lot of work, I won't lie. I don't know if I can do pure Death Guard without the Deathshroud spam. It's a weird one. I don't know how you feel, because obviously you quite like your War Dogs.
I'm a fan of War Dogs. I mean, I think it's obviously a question of which War Dog you take. I think, you know, sometimes they all fill a different hole. I mean, but you know, but sort of this list particularly, the thing we have to remember with this list as well is this isn't like some sort of like, you know, this guy has just turned up to a random GT and, you know, had like a lucky run. This guy won a GT to get there. He's probably a really good player. I don't know what country or nationality he's from, but you know, this could be someone who takes down all the local GTs in his area, you know, week in, week out. You know, it's just a name that we're not familiar with. You know, maybe it's a country that plays more teams than singles or whatever. No. And maybe he, you know, like we said, maybe he did study the terrain format, really thought about it, you know, and has built the list to match the terrain format. You know, because that's the thing as well. You know, we forget sometimes here in the UK that you see a much wider variety of terrain in other parts of the world, because we are in the UK sort of very much it's just elves. So maybe this is something where it's kind of this thing is going on that we're not sort of taking into account. Because I'll be honest, I haven't played a lot of games on GW terrain. I mean, we mentioned the Clumsy York events that happen locally to us, but that terrain even then is kind of unique to itself. There's a few things about it that I wouldn't. I'm not a huge fan of it. I'll put it that way. You know, it's based more on aesthetics than functionality. And I know the GW kind of one is kind of somewhere in the middle. It's got the same aesthetics, you know, so the same functionality with the bases, but they have some ruins and things on there as well. But obviously, I'm sure there's a going for aesthetics as well, because, you know, obviously it's a GW event and, you know, they want it to look good too. So maybe there's some tech in this list based on the terrain format itself, that because we weren't at the event to see it. I didn't watch any of the streams, so I've seen some stills, and I've watched some reviews that other channels have done of the top winning list and stuff. But maybe there's some terrain stuff that we're not taking into account here. For example, it might be that, you know, you can stage really well with the brigands and you just go, well, it's 8 OC on a point. You know, there's not a lot of shooting lanes to get to it. So if you want to come and threaten it, fair play, you threaten it, and then you've got a counter charge. And then because it's quick, maybe it can just run straight over a base without like a ruin on top of it, and then it can run and get a line on its the opponent's expansion objections. So maybe it holds, it relies on them not being quick enough to get there, then it runs out, clears that, dies, but then gets a good trade out of it, and holds their primary down, and then doesn't really worry too much about secondary, scores the cards it can, but then just sort of wins on primary. But I mean, like I said, this is pure speculation, as to how it is, because like we're saying, that there's definitely a bit of a head scratcher in terms of what you'd see as a standard Death Guard list, taken out an event.
Here's the second one for you. So the second highest placing Death Guard player is Wojtek Susestis. Sorry if I've ruined your name. Probably have. I apologise. And his list is called Deathshroud or Overcosted. Changed my mind. And he's rocking Mortarion and Typhus. That's it. 1 squad, 2 squad occultists, 3 Predator Destructors, 3 Bloat Drones, and 2 Plague Burst Scrollers, and then triple Carnivore. That's it.
Way, my man, the triple Carnivore. Yes.
So once again, completely eschewing Deathshroud Terminators here. For this is probably like I imagine this is quite an aggressive list here. Probably pushes with the PBCs, the Bloat Drones, with like the War Dogs ready to crash in straight after them. Obviously with Morty at the forefront. A very interesting list. To me, this, I don't know if this reads the same to you, but to me this reads like a very very aggressive list.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, what's he got on the PBCs? Is it entropies
Spitters.
Or
Spitters.
Yeah, so instantly that tells you what those PBCs are doing. They're not sitting at the back. They're driving straight to the middle. They're jamming up objectives and being like, well, it's 4 OC. They're not super hard to kill, but they're tough enough. You have to commit real units.
Yeah.
And then it's like, what you're going to do. You can leave them here if you want, and then I'll just win the game on primary, or you can react, and then we'll start playing a game. So I think, it's quite a good list, especially with the Carnivores, which I presume stand. Because I imagine with this, I'm starting to get the impression with this terrain by looking at some of these lists that maybe there's because it's GW, there's a lot of movement lanes.
Well, GW also they have that terrain, don't they, where it's like under 2 inches, so you can't see through it, but vehicles can move over it if it's not there.
Nice,
we don't have that at all over here for like Glasshammer or UKTC. That's just not a thing. But I can imagine having Carnivores that can like run over those bits is quite nice.
Yeah, so you run your PBCs out first, and they sit there. Mortarians maybe sort of also kind of lurking around that area with some Carnivores just waiting to go, come on, you've got to throw something out to deal with these PBCs, and as soon as you do, bad things are going to happen to you. And then at the same time, the PBCs can start chipping away at the scoring units and make it even harder for them, so they have to commit real units to kill the PBCs, and then at the same time they're running out of their chaff, so then they have to eventually start committing real units to hold the primary. And then you've got, Carnivores and things like that, which are looking to take out real units, basically, and get good trades on them. But that's how I would imagine, again, that one place. But I quite like that list. I actually... So this is a shout-out to 40k Dirtbags, because I listened to his he did a really good breakdown video. It's just like a little short, and he's ran through all the lists. But I think he shouted this list you've just read out was the one he thought was the worst. And I kind of agree with him when he read it out before the event, but it just goes to show, I think sometimes a good player on a list that they feel comfortable, because I'm sure when this player wrote this list, there's something in his head and he's got every piece and he'll have a job. It's not obvious to me what all those jobs are, but to him I'm sure it was, and it just goes to show I think sometimes the list might not be the strongest to the world around, to the wider world, to the general community. But if you think you've seen something and you believe it's good in yourself, then
if it matches up with your play style as well. Like this list on me would be terrible. I'm not an aggressive player. I'd probably fumble this so hard I'd get tabled every game. But if Wojtek is very aggressive, this probably is a natural fit for him. So like you said, and the Athenian in the chat did say, I feel there's so many ways to build Death Guard at the moment, and I agree. Because I actually look at this and don't think it's bad. I think it's just a very different playstyle required. But I mean, you have 12 hulls / monsters. That's a lot for lists to deal with. Even if they have a good turn and kill all 3 bloat drones, the turn you go at them, they aren't killing all the war dogs, they aren't killing Morty, they aren't killing all the predators. It's just not happening. So you're going to start getting tagged, you're going to start getting shot. I actually think that list isn't as bad as people think. So next list we got.
I think it's good.
we've got Joshua Minch. Is it Joshua Minch? Is this one? No, Grant Kaufman. Sorry, Grant Kaufman. So he's been on the channel before. So we've got Biology Putrefied. So we've got a 10-man fight first brick. We've got a Plague Bus. This is more like a traditional list. No Mortarion at all. Typhus. Okay. This is like the traditional prior to the changes, like non-morty list. So Plague Bus, 10-man fight first squad, Lord of Contagion, Typhus, 10-man Plague Marines, 2 Rhinos, 1 squad of Cultists, 2 bricks of 6 Deathshroud Terminators, 2 Bloat Drones, Beast of Nurgle Nurglings, and Triple Brigand. So this is more like the traditional Triple Brigand supported by good stuff build that we kind of had before.
Yeah, so just to give clarity and also for the listeners as well, to have this guy on the channel, is this one of the American guys?
Yes, this is Grant, yeah.
Oh, who was running the Rotigus list?
Yes.
He did Art of War as well. Got you. Okay, so yeah, so obviously he's a really good place. Interesting they didn't take Rotigus then. I thought with Morty going down and Rotigus still being good, I kind of thought if you're already running Rotigus, purely this is the time to keep the Smash Brothers in place and sort of keep building around that. So it's interesting that he didn't continue with that. Then he's obviously seen other things with the points drops that he liked the look of better.
Yeah, it looks like Rotigus turned into the second 6-man because the original list just had a single 6-man, whereas now there's 2 6-man Terminator squads, and obviously another character to support that. So I think that's where the points went on that for Rotigus.
That makes sense.
Which I can see. Obviously, Deathshroud being pretty decent. Would Rotigus have been better in this matchup? I don't think so. I think it's got this list itself has enough OC with the Brigand and stuff, but I wonder if he did miss Morty. I wonder if the no Morty there would be a bit rough because.
Yeah.
Morty is pretty good right now. The other 2 lists obviously were rocking Morty. Just the utility you can bring, like ignoring anything like -2 to move and stuff's quite big for Terminators. But I mean, still great effort and a great showing for more traditional lists. And again, we've seen 3 very different lists already so far, so they're very, very different to each other. So next up we've got Joshua, 2 Death Guard Sorcerers, Mortarion, Typhus, 1-2 squads of Cultists, 3 Predator Destructor, 1-2 squads of 6 Deathshroud, so it's 12 Deathshroud again, and Triple Brigand again. So this is probably more what I would have expected to see. Like it's got the Morty in there, it's got Triple Destructor, double Deathshroud, and it's got the Triple Brigand. I think for me personally, because I was looking at this myself. Hey, don't eat those models. Sorry, the dog's jumping on the chair and he's just trying to eat some models. Kirby's chomping on some models. I think my only issue with this is, once again, it's just the scoring stuff. Like, I feel like I want more, like, trash. I like Brigands, but 165 points, 165, and you've got 2 big Deathshroud bricks. I found, like, my 3 Predators were doing, like, enough work for me on the shooting front. And then, obviously, I had my 15 Terminators, but then I had, like, tons of scoring crap around that. And, like, there's no bloat drones here as well. But, I mean, I don't dislike it. I think it's a pretty... And again, this is what we've got to remember here. I think any of these lists here are perfectly capable of winning, like, GTs. But this is the hardest event in the world with the best... And we also don't know everyone's pod. Like, some of these players could have had insanely difficult pods as well. But, like, to be still doing, like, pretty well with these lists and the variety of lists that it shows kind of shows that Death Guard right now are in a really good spot. And I think it also proves that just because Deathshroud went down, like, it doesn't mean we all just go drop our allies straight away. Like, I think Brigand and, War Dogs are still completely viable.
I think, so I'm moving on a slight tangent, but we'll come back to these lists. The more I'm seeing other people's lists and the more I'm thinking about Deathshroud, I think running 18, for example, like me and David doing this weekend, is good because it's fun and it's something different.
Yeah.
But the more I think about it, the more I think, it's just getting excited because, oh my god, they've come down in points, so I've got to use them. I think once we've kind of got over that, it's like the last points drop before this one. All of a sudden, Morty was back in list and I was like, oh my god, he's come down in points, we've got to use Morty, he's so good at this point. This is before he lost another 25, I'm saying this by the way. And then after a couple of weeks, I think he started to disappear from lists again, because everyone's like, yeah, he's come down, he's not bad, but I'd just rather have more stuff.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to find that with the Deathshroud. Say, yeah, they're great, and they're getting combat, they smash it up, and the flamers are all right, but they move 4 inches, and there's times when they just don't make the 4+ invulns, and the game just falls off a cliff because I can't get to where I need to be.
Yeah.
I think the more the Deathshroud thing happens, and the more it becomes meta, and people are already teching for it now as well. Like, I think we're going to find that probably 2 squads is a sweet spot. Possibly even 3 squads of 3, or 2 squads of 3 and 1 squad of 6. I think they're definitely around, because that, as long as it's point, they're good. But I don't think we're gonna. I think the 18 Deathshroud list are gonna slowly start to fade away. You know, after Leicester, I don't think I'm going to run 18 again. I think I'm going to drop to 12 and bring the 10-man Plague Marines back as, you know, in place of the other one. But you know, we've got a lot of stuff coming up. So just wanted to caveat and throw that in there, like I think you were alluding to, that although Deathshroud are good, but the fact these top players aren't all just spamming 18 and, you know, they're doing really well, I think is kind of testament, because obviously people like yourself, Aidan, and the people that we're talking about here, obviously these are people who are leading the meta and are kind of like not so much getting caught up in internet memes and gimmicks, kind of doing what they've sort of seen and what they know is right and fits their play style. So I think the fact that obviously Deathshroud are there, but we haven't yet seen an 18 Deathshroud list, I think that's kind of like telling for what we're going to see over the coming weeks and months, for example.
I agree. I think the more people play, the more we realise like 12 and under is probably... Yeah, I'm still here. I think we realise more the 12 and under is like more probably the sweet spot. The good news is, though, actually one of the interesting things that actually might be interesting to see is people... Like, 18 Deathshroud is pretty fun and it's pretty strong at like a GT level. Above that, I think it starts to struggle, like you said. And even then, I didn't run 18 around 15. And I probably could have dropped the 3. It wasn't that big of a deal. I'll probably go 6-3-3 from now on, personally. But that being said, I do wonder if this unit will actually get nerfed, because the thing is, I can see its points going back up, but I don't. This would say, if you were to look at the results of this event, no, they don't need to go back up. Deathshroud didn't come in and like destroy everyone, because they still have super defined weaknesses. Like you said, the 3 runes is lots of damage 3 in the game. They're not -1 damage at range or anything like that. You fail a couple 4-ups in the wrong place, you die quite quickly. And they move 4 inches. Yeah. But my worry is that GW will nerf them just because a lot of people are taking them, because we've seen them do nerfs like that before, because people are taking a lot of them. But again, like you said, if this starts to become a trend and like people are now starting to figure out, oh, actually it's not as good as we thought, let's tone it down a bit, maybe they don't nerf it and maybe it actually stays where it is, because like I think 18 just opens you up as well to like really bad matchups. If someone if someone can deal with it, you just die.
So, for example, I'm going to talk about specifically about the list that me and Dave, you know, put together last week for Leicester. I think that list that we've put together for Leicester is the worst list I've run for a while into Hypercrypt. I don't think that list stands any chance. I think it's too slow. The Predators get blasted off the board. I think you need things like the Knights and the speed in that matchup specifically to get around the board and do things. But that's one matchup. I also think the Sisters matchup is exponentially better than the other list that I was running previously, because that list has more tools to deal with that. Yeah. So obviously, you know, there's always a rock, paper, scissors, but we're talking about extremes with the 18. But like you said, you can probably drop 6, you know, maybe split the other one, and all of a sudden you can put tools in that make both those matchups a lot better, and the list is kind of more overall rounded. Like, you're not kind of at the beck and call of just getting a bad pairing. So I think there's definitely truth to that. But I think I've mentioned this to you privately, and I don't know if I mentioned the podcast. I have a prediction of what happened to Deathshroud, and I think we talked about this previously. Maybe you don't run out and buy 18 if you don't already have them.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend that still.
So, Games Workshop, if you've noticed in the sort of like the data slate, they will not, or very rarely, undo the previous data sheet in the following one, because that's not how they work. That's like admitting fault.
Yeah.
So what they'll do is, I think that they will, 3 of them are going to say 110. I don't think that's changing, and I'll put money on that. I think what they'll do is, they'll do what they did with like a lot of other units, and they'll make them different points for different numbers. Because we've talked about this as well, the problem with Deathshroud isn't 3 of them. The problem is as much as we're saying it's got bad matchups, it's also got really good matchups as soon as you just put 18 on the board and just saturate something and just basically asking your opponent a question can you deal with this, especially if I spike 2 or 3 more 4+ saves than I should do?
It's a SKU list.
So, yes, it is. And I think that what they'll do is 10 will stay 110, and 6 will either go back to 240 or to 230. And I think that's how GW will they'll acknowledge they've made a bit of a mistake, but they won't completely backtrack. They'll say if they do the classic in the safe face, we meant the 10 to be 110, but the 6 is this much, and hopefully that is what fixes it. And I also do think that would be fair, if I'm honest. I still think 6 for 230 is an absolute bargain, by the way.
Yeah.
And I think 6 at 240. Now we've seen what people can do. I'm sure some people who really have enjoyed that playstyle can still do it. The 60 points, I think, when we've talked about it, and you're struggling to throw in chaff, probably ends that list in many senses. But I think that's what GW will do. I think there's they'll nerf it, but it won't be like a reverse nerf. They'll they'll keep half of the nerf, so they'll keep half of the buff and just take a backward step. Is my prediction.
Yeah, it makes sense. So we got Sisteski overhead. Oh, is that you, buddy? Is that you or Oryxus? Had a good run at WCW. All my losses were 7-point max. Stay disgusting, stay resilient. Thank you very much for the 200. I believe it's Czech Karuna. I think it is.
I saw the 200 then. I'm hoping this.
Oh, it's on my screen. Yeah.
It's like weak against the pound, and that isn't like the.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like that is. Like just 200, like the equivalent of £200.
No, I was checking my stream. I was like, because I didn't know the currency. I was just like, it's Karuna, I think it's pronounced. But thank you very much for that, mate. Massive appreciate it. I shit myself then. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, thank you very much.
But
thank you very much.
Still, thank you very much.
Just saw the 200 and thought.
Yeah, still thank you very much. I was just like, what the fuck? Because I was about to have to go and make you like an Lord of Contagion of the channel or something like that. Give you something back for that one. But we got, I mean, going forward, do we think that do you think lists start dropping Deathshroud in general, or do you think we still see them be winning in the Deathshroud Terminator thing?
I think, we're already seeing lists do well. I don't think Deathshroud Terminator is going anywhere. I think, there was the gentleman in the UK who, I said I liked his list. You have Morty, Rotigus, and then the 3 squads of 3, and then the Predators. I mean, lists like that, I think were already pretty cool. The American guys who, one of them you mentioned here, who was doing the sort of the Morty and Rotigus combo with one squad of 6. I think that's still really good. So I don't think Deathshroud are going anywhere. I just don't think we're going to see the 18 spam for too long anyway. It'll continue, but I think it's going to cut down to 12. 12 seems like a good number. 12 or 15, I guess. 15 also makes sense. But I think when you get to the 3-man and the character, I think that's maybe the point where you're just better with more chaff units. So, for example, James Wilson, who is a friend of mine and Aiden's, who did well at the Gravel Pit GT, where the Aiden won recently. He also went 4-1 with Death Guard, so shout out to James. And I really liked his list. He had 3 knights in it, and some other stuff. And I talked to James a little bit prior to the event. We were swapping some ideas. It was actually him who gave me the ideas to put the knights in the list I took to the RTT and some stuff like that. And I was looking at his list and tweaking it. And I actually think his list, there's a few things I dropped in it. I dropped the bloke drum to bring in more cultists. But I also think in his one, just dropping the 3-man and the 3rd character makes sense, and maybe bringing a couple of blight haulers or something. So you just got more stuff running around the edges, and you still got 2 bricks of Deathshroud, Mortarian, 3 knights and 2 predators smashing up the middle of the board. But then you've got loads of chaff in that list just by dropping a bloke drone, 3 Deathshroud and 1 sorcerer. All of a sudden you get 5 extra units. And it's all of a sudden that list has got chaff for days and still got this hard hitting core. So I think there's a few good archetypes out there, and I do think that, yeah, I think the more we go forward, the example I'm trying to give is even 15 to 12 Deathshroud just opens up a lot, because you also, you then lose a character. Because when you've got 3 Deathshroud, is a character worth it unless it's Typhus? I think that's the only time it becomes worth, because then you get the extra 5-inch move after you've had your you coming in from deep strike. So I don't know. I mean, like I say, I think we're we're definitely going to see a lot. And I think the 10-man fight first Plague Marines is the first thing we're going to see come back into lists, because that playing without that feels very.
I feel
I don't
naked.
know. Yeah.
On the objective, like I want to hold. I'm just like, I got out OC'd on it so many times. I'm just like, this is really annoying. Cause obviously they're only like Deathshroud only one OC each, whereas before I could put like the one good trick you used to be able to do was like, let me pull up paint real quick. Let me just see if I can.
Well, one thing while you're putting up paint, one thing is, so the quarter deployment on UKTC, the expansion objective is actually the one on the long board edge side. You actually really struggle to get there without the Plague Marines and the Rhino, because generally you put the Rhino, I always put my Rhino in cover, so it can't be just by the angle. It moves 12, and then you disembark 3 inches. You give a 15-inch move, and that generally gets you on right at the corner on the objective.
Yeah.
It's really hard to do with any other unit, because a blow drawn or a Blight Hauler, you have to roll in advance to tow on. A Knight, when it gets on a Knight's base, if so, a lot of people I've seen set that, I actually called a TO over to ask this at one of the events I played. Where is the 9-inch on the board? Is it the far edge or the near edge of the terrain? If people have played this set, it'll make a difference. They might know what I'm on about. But basically, if the 9 inches is the edge nearest to you, you can fit a Knight on, like as the curve its base fine. But if we measure properly, which is the far edge, you can't fit the curve of a Knight's base onto it without stepping on the ledge. And because it's tall enough to be seen over the top layer, or you're not actually in cover. So that was the only other way I could guarantee get on with this list. You're now rolling advances just to get to your expansion objective on turn 1. Or you get turn 1 and the cultist scout move 6 and then do another 6. But if you go a second, if the scout move 6 in the middle of the board, they're not getting there on the second one. Like they're dead before they meet the objective. So that was one of the reasons I missed the 10-man Plague Marines more than anything, just to sort of secure my expansion objective in cover.
So I just want to clarify very quickly, this is not my PC's paint, this is like some online paint, which is like from like 1990s or whatever, but it'll do the thing for the example. So the reason I missed like my Plague Marines is because what you could do with Plague Marines quite easily is, not only can you like put like 1, 2, like 3, maybe like 4 OC on this point, also you can stand against the wall quite nicely with Plague Marines because you fight first. But the other thing you could do is you could get like your cultists, which I'll do in this like purple. Your cultists like go and like stand on like the outskirts of this like objective. Obviously like spread them out more than I'm doing right here. Because what it means is your opponent, because normally if you do that, you just have the 4 Plague Marines there, 5 Legionnaires can just stand on this objective and take it off you. But what you do is you circle it like that, and then because obviously they can't move an inch of these guys in the movement phase, so they can't come close, that means they have to either shoot them off, but then obviously it's past the movement, so nothing else can get on. Or they have to charge this unit, so like you got those red CSM would then they go, okay, right, if I can't, I want to take this objective, so I'm gonna have to charge the cultists. So they come in, they're like, they're gonna come in, we're gonna charge you. And then obviously with your Plague Marines, you can then just like come and spend the CP, heroic intervention, because it's all guaranteed within 6. You come out and then fight first, and then kill them off the objective in their own turn. It's like a nice way to protect your objective, and like you can kind of do that with Deathshroud, but the problem is like you're forced straight away in these matchups to put the cultists out there, and if you're against armies that don't have good, like lots of battle line, like you used to just be able to get away with just having like 5 Plague Marines touching behind the wall, 10 OC, and like you're against something like 6 Sanguinary Guard, they're just never going to take it off you because the 1 OC each. Like you can just sit there and be like, cool, I'll just chill here for a bit. Whereas when it was Deathshroud, like again, the Custodes game, Rory just kept taking primary off me because all these guys are OC2, I'm all OC1, and it's just like, yeah, here's 3 guys, here's 6 OC, cool. I can only fit like 3 Terminators on the side of a wall. I've now lost it. I was losing like Sister Silence, because 4 Sister Silence, that's 4 OC, I can only fit 3 guys on the objective from behind the wall. There you go, primary gone again. So having the Plague Marines back for the OC would have been much, much appreciated. So I do agree. I think we maybe do see us going back to including more Plague Marines in our lists. So that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the Plague Marines also synergize well with the Deathshroud and Morty, because you forget about the 1 CP heroic intervene. Like, there's a lot of times where Deathshroud traditionally live through it anyway, but there's sometimes where things charge Morty that have high enough OC kill the point, but Morty doesn't actually have enough tax to kill them. So then you get your Plague Marines fight first. They can, Morty can stand there, hopefully live through the shooting, but then when the charge comes, the Plague Marines get the jump on them. So it means that people have to kill Morty and shoot him, which is kind of like you never want more to die, but if he's only getting attacked in 1 round of combat, then you kind of 1 round of the of the game, it's helping you a lot. And the Plague Marines, like you said, they can just help protect that sort of like midfield. So there's lots of different players, even if you're not using them to get to your expansion objective.
Oh, for sure.
Like I think the Plague Marines just, even just with 2 squads of Deathshroud, there's no reason why you can't just heroic intervene. Especially if you've gone for Lord of Virulence, so you don't have the -1 damage.
There's a crazy build that I'm debating one to take to the Lords of War event because it's very different, but it is like proper like bonkers crazy. But I'm not sure if we should do it or not. Because
what is it? Go on, let's have a. We have to start wrapping up soon, but before we do, let's have a little. Let's have a breakdown of what you're thinking, because I'm curious.
It's like batshit insane. I don't think it'll be very good, but we'll see. What have I called it? Is it Old Original? I've called it. No, it's not Old Original. Where is it at? Is it No Mort? Not No More. One time I fucking delete it. It's not like... Oh, yeah, there you go. I'm going to MSU all over you, I've called the list. So it is... No More. It's 2 Biologist Putrefier, 2 Death Guard Chaos Lords, a Death Guard Terminator Sorcerer Armor, and a Typhus. Then we have 4 5-man squads of Plague Marines. We have 2 7-man squads of Plague Marines. The Lords will join the 2 of the 5-mans. The Biologist Putrefier will join 2 of the 7-mans. Triple Rhino, Triple Predator Destructor, Deathshroud Terminators, 2 Bloat Drones, and 20 Pox Walkers. It's very weird, but it's just... I've tried it once, and my opponent just couldn't score primary for shit. Because I was just like, here's a Plague Marine squad, here's another one, and the Chaos Lord can actually make the second squad kind of punch a bit. So it's like if they send someone to clean up the 5 bare bones Plague Marine squad, he comes out, punches them, and you've got the 7-mans for killing something a bit scarier. No, this is mine derp that Zito liked his Land Raiders, but I don't know. I was just like, this is weird and experimental, and it might be something different.
So with that list, do you have any Foul Blight spawns at all in there?
Nope.
Just Biologist Putrefiers?
Just Biologist Putrefiers.
Surely it makes sense to add 1 Foul Blight spawn just to hold the expansion. The reason I say that is as well, what are the Lords doing in there? Like, because the Lords to me just... I mean, I get maybe 1, we took about a while, we had Innis on, didn't we? Innis Wilson, and then kind of he was talking about how he'd... you just sort of fill up all the little Lords and you just chip 1 or 2 sort of mortal wounds away from people. But
it's just
you
to add
3 in that list?
I have 2. It's just to add teeth to 2 of the 5-mans, because the Biologist Putrefier doesn't add enough teeth to a 5-man because they don't have enough melee weapons, but he himself brings 5 heavy plague weapon attacks equivalent, plus the extra mortals, plus he gives them all real ones to hit as well. So it's like having an extra like 2.5 Plague Marines in there, plus giving them squad rerolls, plus maybe some mortals at the end. So it's just the idea of being like, you put 5 guys out onto a point to flip it, they answer it with something, you can then answer it with a 5-man. Kind of like how Marines do it with Sultanesses and Captains. It's kind of like the idea of that. But I mean, it's probably not very good, but it's weird, and it's kind of funny.
It's not that dissimilar to what I was running. I mean, admittedly, I've got the Carnivores to sort of put even more raw, seeing I've got a few other bits in there as well. Yours is more of an infantry horde than mine is by quite some way, to be honest. I mean, one of the things with that particular build, though, that does stand out, it does, I think, drop a Lord for a fight first guy. One thing I would say is, I don't know if you've tested this, because I was running this, like at one point. With the Biologist Putrefiers, 5 Plague Marines and the Biologist Putrefier do work, but you have to kit the 5 Plague Marines out either all combat or all shooting.
Okay, I could
see.
So
we do all combat or all shooting, then you kind of you align in the one phase, and you'll generally get the 5s across all the weapons for it to be. So I would say test that. Would be the thing I'd say if you want to run that list. Steve, just do 1 or shooting, 1 or combat, attach it to each.
Yeah.
And then you can kind of see, because I was really surprised at times how much that squad picked up when you sort of give everyone like. So say in combat, when you just roll that many dices, you do just get the 5s, if that makes sense. So you stop doing chip damage, you start actually just picking up real units. Like I had 5 Plague Marines pick up just like 5, I don't know the custodians' names, it's like 5 Wardens or something. And it was just like, oh wow, like I didn't expect that to happen. So on the heavy weapons, I just rolled like 4 5s, and then obviously on top of that you do get the 4s and then the damages, and then on the other weapons, the few bounty weapons, I rolled like another 4 or 5 5s, and then the squad was just gone, and it was just like, oh, like
Yeah,
I didn't,
that can
I
happen.
discharged incidentally.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. But I mean, we'll see.
Yeah.
I probably will end up taking something more standard. But it's fun to mess around with weird things. So we'll see.
I think
Excited.
it's a cool list.
It could be fun.
We've just talked about this, haven't we? How some of these lists on paper, like that we've running through because we didn't write them, the ones who've done well at Worlds, don't look traditionally like standard lists, and it's kind of, it's not obvious how they're playing. But exactly how you've talked about yours there, and I'm critiquing it as if, with suggestions, but I don't really understand what you're trying to do, and there's things in there that you do know what you're doing. So it's one of these things where, in a way, try it. You might like Liam VSL's the prime guy anyway with his CSM list. If you have the idea and it works in his head, he puts it on the table and just, he makes his concept work. So maybe this is the time to shine.
The only issue the list has that I've played so far is if you run into the mirror and they have Morty in the Deathshroud Terminator, it fucking sucks. You can't do shit. So we'll have to see, because I imagine Deathguard are probably quite popular at the event. So it's not great for that one, because you haven't got.
I'm sure you could work Morty in if you really wanted.
I could try. Yeah, I'll figure it out. I got more time to play around with, so we'll see how it goes. But I mean, for now, should we wrap up there then, Will? Because it's obviously
let's do it. Yeah.
So I mean,
I'm gonna go through and watch a bit of TV and stuff. So yeah, but so I suppose the next time that I'm back anyway, it'll be on Tuesday. Are you around next Tuesday as well, Aidan?
Should be, yeah.
So me and Dave will obviously have some feedback as to how Leicester went. We'll be able to talk about the list that we talked about on the channel. Me and Dave. So I haven't practiced with it yet. I haven't had a chance to have a practice game. We're going to practice game on Thursday, so I'm kind of going in blind. Dave's been practicing a lot and sort of giving me sort of information and things, how it's gone for him. So we'll have to see who does better, me or Dave, or if it's a disaster for us both. But that'll be something to talk about the next one. I don't know about yourself, Ian. If you got anything happening this weekend, because you mentioned the Lords of War weekend. Is that 2 weekends?
That's
away?
2 weekends away. Yeah, and I'm not doing too much at the moment. I'm actually like weirdly painting like Age of Sigmar, because Nat wanted to give Spearhead a go for that, so I picked up some Caradrons. So that's keeping my hobby busy at the moment, because I've got all my Death Guard done again.
You haven't gone Maggot King, or Aidan?
I know, I wanted to, but I was just like, I've done enough Nurgle at the moment, so we'll see. But honestly, for myself, I mean, I'm working on a Typhus like deep dive, so like different ways to use Typhus, get the most out of him and Poxhawk and stuff like that. So that's gonna be up soon. Should be quite fun. Part of that, we do have a giveaway, don't we?
We do. So yeah, so I think we haven't worked out what the giveaway is going to be, but we will announce it on the streams. We've got a kill team box that we're going to give away to one lucky member. I think what we're going to do is we're going to do it via the Discord. So we'll probably announce the competition live on a video, so everyone who once again involved can do. But you'll need to join the Discord to have a chance of winning. And then, once we've set what the competition is, we'll choose via the Discord the winner, and you'll get a free kill team box. And that is the one with the Plague Marines, brand new box with all the rules, also the Imperium half it as well. So great to bolster a Death Guard for, especially that play cast that everyone wants in there. But also just as a thank you for the people who watch the channel, and just I suppose just something to get people involved, and so we'll announce more about that though once we've fleshed out what the competition is going to be, and I suppose as well, talking about new models, I guess good time to plug Element Games, who we are affiliated with. So if you're buying any models, it doesn't cost any more. Use the link in the description, and any money you spend, we get a little kickback for the channel. Doesn't cost you any more, like I say. So if you are going to go buy 18 Deathshrouds, do it for Element Games and use our affiliate link. That's what we'd say. But also, I suppose like and subscribe. But Aidan, if I wanted to get some coaching, I know there's some great people out there, and anyone you could recommend maybe could help me.
Yeah, it feels weird. Dave normally does this one.
I know.
You can go check out Vanguard Tactics, who I'm one of their coaches. Those guys have also lots of good lesson videos and like battle reports all kind of good stuff, and their team that me and Dave also play for. So go check out those guys as well over there. And like Will said, don't forget to leave a like and a subscribe. It helps massively. Someone just said very quickly, detachment live stream gonna happen. So yeah, we're gonna go away and cook up our own detachments. But then obviously when the actual detachment comes up, which we have money on it being either the 7th or the 14th. Obviously 7 being our Nurgle number and the 14th being our Legion number. So we reckon that's when we're going to get it. But yeah, we will definitely be having some form of stream up that day when it comes out for us to discuss it. Because obviously that's probably the most interesting thing that's happened for Death Guard for over a year at this point. So it'll be nice. It'll be nice. But yeah, go.
So I was going to say, so objective markers and things like that, are they back on, or is Sultai Games still?
I think they're still on hiatus at the moment. So don't worry about that one just yet. But we do have our own merch store, so if you fancy picking up like a 11th Cultist t-shirt or anything like that, do check us out. It's just below the video where you can see our channel homepage.
Baron of Dice, if you want to support us, get some Death Guard dice or discussing resilient dice. They're available via Baron of Dice in I think is there more than one colour that they've got on there?
They're just stuck in the one colour, but I don't know if they're up yet. Dave was running the logistics on that one, so he'll have more information for us. So I'm not sure if they are being produced. I know that, and they will be on the website as soon as they are manufactured. So yeah, keep your eyes open for that, and obviously we'll announce it when it obviously goes up for you all. But yeah, I think that's all I've got for tonight, Will. I mean, obviously, well done to everyone that went to WCW, repping Death Guard. Again, even if you didn't do as well as you'd hoped, you still managed to go to the hardest tournament in the world and still rep our faction. That's more Oh, go on. Yep.
Big shout out to Andy QC from Team Stonehammer. Andy QS Cohen, congratulations on the 26th place at Worlds. I did want to shout that out. I know it's not necessarily Death Guard focused, but he's a friend and he did do it exceptionally well. And also, just before we close, obviously I'll let Ian do the final sign off. We did mention at the start as well that Ian's playing it, and there's we've already had an awful lot of interest because the 28th of December is a popular day. It's not a lot to do between Christmas and New Year. If anyone does want to come and play an RTT at Element Games, tickets are available now on the Element Games website. It's £25, and you do also get lunch included. And like I say, we'll have lots of Christmas things in there. And because it's Christmas, we know a lot of people want to get the new toys. So for this one, there is no 3-colour paint restriction. Just built and undercoated. That's all you need to get your 10 painting points. Because we just wanted to.
It's a fun Christmas event, yeah.
Exactly. And if the new Death Guard attachment is out, Ian has said he'll run it. Obviously, we'll wait and see what it is before we hold you that or not. Because if it's an absolute pile of garbage, then maybe just stick with what
I'll still take it.
There you go. Yeah. See if you can overachieve.
Yeah. But yeah. So if any of you can make it to that attitude, it would be cool to see there. You can obviously come and say hi to us and all that good stuff. But yeah, I think that's all we've got time for now. I'm gonna go and finish the last bit of edge height on my third predator. I've done the other two. I'm gonna go finish off the final one there. But yeah, again, congratulations to everyone that played. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. If you've not already done it, hit that little thumbs up button. It really does help us out. And we will catch you all on the next one. See you later, guys. Stay rotten. Take care. We'll see you all very, very soon. Take care.
Yeah. Like and subscribe. Bye.
From the shadow depths of a broken hive, corpses twitch and come alive. This crimson plague, it feeds on fear as the bodies drop and it draws us near. Our skin is crawling, something's inside. Internal organs liquefied. Death God's gift, a twisted fate. No escape from me, yeah, it's too late. No goal comes except your fate. And we'll solve the hive's infected. Too late. Watch it all decay, falling to your knees. The hive will consume when it's sick disease. Our souls corrupted, can't run, can't fight. The walking pox now takes its bite. The walking pox now takes its bite. Blood the rod. Walking pox now takes its bite. Lungs are burning, pox fills the air. You scream for help, but no one cares. Bones are breaking, bodies swift. The Death Guard's gift, death's toxic kiss. Pale and stare with a hollow glare. They're gone corrupted. Can't run, can't fight. The walking box now takes its bite. The walking box now takes its bite. You'll feel it settle deep inside. There's no cure, nowhere to hide. You breathe me in, you can't escape. I am the plague, I am your fate. What can you feel it in your bones? This is where it now goes home. No mercy here, you're out of time. Your final breath is that last line. Watch it all decay, fall into your knees. The hide was consumed by the sick disease. I'm so corrupted, can't run, can't fight. The walking box now takes its bite. The walking box now takes its bite. Watch it all decay, falling to your knees. The hide was consumed by the sick disease. I'm so corrupted, can't run, can't fight. The walking box now takes its bite. The walking box now takes its bite. From the skies we come to claim our prize. A world infected before your eyes. We are the run, we are the end. The death god's mercy is death again. Watch it all decay, falling to your knees. The hide was consumed by the sick disease. I'm so corrupted, can't run, can't fight. The walking box now takes its bite. The walking box now takes its bite.
From the depths of rot and decay they rise. The death god marches on the sickened skies. With boils and blight they spread the pain. In Nurgle's name disease will reign. Rot and ruin, pestilence flows. With every breath the plague wind blows. Embrace the rot, let flesh decay. The death god comes, none can stay. From the depths of rot and decay they rise. The death god marches under sickened skies. With boils and blight they spread the pain. In Nurgle's name disease will reign. Rot and ruin, pestilence flows. With every breath the plague wind blows. Embrace the rot, let flesh decay. The death god comes, none can stay. Armored and filled with rusted blades, they laugh as cities wilt and fade. Where they tread, no life remains. Just hollow corpses, plague remains. Beneath the helm, cursed grin, for in death they shall begin. Rot and ruin,